Daniel Ricciardo believes that becoming Red Bull's third driver in Formula One for the new season is preferable to pursuing a race seat with another team because he wants to take a year off from racing. After being dropped by McLaren for the 2023 season, the Australian is in early discussions with Red Bull about the possibility of taking on a non-racing position with the team, which may include reserve, test, promotional, and simulator responsibilities. First up, Ricciardo says being Red Bull's third driver is better. After being released by McLaren for the 2023 season, the Australian is in preliminary talks with Red Bull over the prospect of taking on a position with the team that does not involve racing. This post may include reserve, test, promotional, or simulator responsibilities. Even though the contract is yet to be finalized, it is widely believed that doing so is only a formality, and that an announcement regarding the transaction might be made at any moment. Ricciardo decided to continue in that direction even though Haas had made overtures to the Australian driver in an attempt to secure his services. If Ricciardo had reached a deal with Haas to be Kevin Magnussen's teammate in 2023, he would have been able to continue competing. Ricciardo has indicated that despite this, he concluded pretty fast after returning from his vacation during the summer that he did not want to continue racing in motorsports the following year.
So we had a lot of discussions, but in the end we mutually agreed that it was the right thing.
When asked by Motorsport.com about the rationale for his decision to pursue a career with Red Bull, he responded, "I was aware that I wanted a break from racing and merely from competition the following year. Struggles over the past couple of years have been extremely tiring, so it seemed fairly obvious to me soon after the summer break that that was what I wanted and what would be best for me," he finished. Ricciardo reasoned that taking some time off from the pressures of a racing season would give him a better opportunity to determine whether he still wanted to compete in the sport in 2024. When asked what would happen if he reached the middle of the following year and decided that he did not want to make a comeback, he responded as follows, "That gets me to my response, I suppose. To be honest, I think this has a certain beauty to it as well. If it actually is like, well, this is the right thing for you, in which case I will have to acknowledge that I am extremely content, it will either fan the fires and make me even hungrier and more determined than I already am. Because despite the ups and downs that come with racing, I am quite content with my life and have the opportunity to lead a fulfilling one. Therefore, if I am not interested in returning the following year, it must mean that I am participating in some pretty amazing activities." Ricciardo has been a part of the Formula One racing scene since 2011. He recently suggested that the sport is about to embark on its most extensive schedule. Because he is coming off 2 challenging seasons, there is a possibility that he will not perform to the best of his ability if he does take a race seat with another team. The Australian driver debuted with HRT in 2011, although he moved on to the Red Bull development team Toro Rosso the following year. He was promoted to Red Bull in 2014 after his time with Toro Rosso. He raced alongside Sebastian Vettel, Daniel Kvyat, and Max Verstappen during that time. Ricciardo's decision to leave Red Bull at the end of the 2018 season and join Renault was a move that stunned team principal Christian Horner and the rest of the Red Bull crew. Ricciardo spent 4 years with the Red Bull team, winning 7 of the 8 Grand Prix races in which he competed, and twice finished third in the Drivers' Championship.
At that chicane, there are 5 laps to go, and there goes Daniel Ricciardo on Sergio Perez, moves up into second place.
After working for Renault and McLaren for 2 years, he decided early this year to leave McLaren.
But I still want to leave, on good terms, and I think because we kept dialogue amongst all of us in the team the last.
Next, Horner praises Ricciardo, saying he has great talent. Christian Horner, the team's principal, stated that it was beautiful to welcome Daniel back into the Red Bull family. He possesses an incredible amount of talent and such an incredibly admirable character. I do not doubt that the entire factory is thrilled to welcome him back. In his role as test and third driver, Daniel will allow us to diversify, assisting in the development of the car and benefiting the team with his expertise and knowledge of what it takes to achieve in Formula One, Horner said. Next, in other news, Daniel Ricciardo's conditions set out for Red Bull's return. Daniel Ricciardo has disclosed that one of the requirements for his return to Red Bull is the management of his calendar in such a way that he receives time off. Ricciardo's dismissal from McLaren means that he will not compete in Formula One full-time in 2023.
Oh, really?
But we can see each other in Monaco. Mate, I'm not doing 24 races. Come on.
Even though the F1 2023 season will feature a record-setting 24 races, which could be reduced to 23 if the Chinese Grand Prix is postponed. Even though he won't be a regular fixture in the F1 2023 driver lineup, he has agreed to terms over a third driver role with Red Bull, the team he previously represented. Daniel Ricciardo is expected to return to Red Bull as the team's third Formula One driver for the 2023 season, despite Christian Horner's insistence that Sergio Perez will continue to have a job as Max Verstappen's teammate. The 2023 Formula One season will begin in March. It is anticipated that Ricciardo will serve in the capacity of a development driver, while Liam Lawson will have the official reserve position. After 2 generally unsuccessful seasons with the British team, the Australian driver, who is 33 years old, had his contract with McLaren terminated a year early, which resulted in him being left without a spot on the grid for the upcoming racing season. Ricciardo was said to be interested in various positions around the end of the grid. However, he claimed that he would like to join a top team as a reserve driver to return to a more competitive car in 2024.
As a collective, to try and make this work and get the car in a place I was happy with, to get...
He shared this news with Sky, saying, "I won't be at 24 events. If that's the case, I might as well still be on the grid. I made it abundantly obvious that I require vacation time." Jenson Button overheard Ricciardo saying, "I remember Barcelona from last year. It was so very early in my McLaren career. After I had beaten Lando Norris in the qualifying race, Jenson Button told me, 'It's about time you showed some pace.'" Damon Hill, a commentator for Sky Sports, has expressed his belief that Daniel Ricciardo's decision to return to the Red Bull team was a wise one that may lead him to winning back a starting position in the future. Hill remarked, "If you think about the troubles they have reportedly had between Max and Sergio, it could be quite a fascinating one. Daniel Ricciardo might be in a good position if, for example, the toys fall out of the pram and there is some fallout, because it is his home and he does owe a lot to Red Bull. He will be very eager to go back into that fold when the opportunity presents itself. What about the son who squanders his inheritance and then returns? It's possible he'll be in a better position when he returns, having picked up a lot of new knowledge in other locations." Ricciardo's decision to leave Red Bull at the end of 2018 and join Renault was a move that stunned team principal Christian Horner and the rest of the Red Bull crew. Ricciardo spent 4 years with the Red Bull team, winning 7 of the 8 Grand Prix races in which he competed, and twice finished 3rd in the Drivers' Championship.
Just coming round the second turn, Ricciardo ahead of Sebastian Vettel then on the track.
After working for Renault and McLaren for 2 years, he decided early this year to leave McLaren. Ricciardo was strongly considered for a reserve role with Mercedes, but he ultimately returned to Red Bull instead. Following his last race with McLaren, he spoke publicly about the challenges he had in recent years. Christian Horner, the principal of the Red Bull team, stated that it was a pleasure to welcome Daniel back into the Red Bull family. He possesses the incredible talent and such an incredibly admirable character. I do not doubt that the entire factory is thrilled to welcome him back. Daniel will provide us with the opportunity to diversify, assisting in the development of the car and assisting the team with his expertise and knowledge of what it takes to be successful in Formula One in his capacity as test and third driver. We are overjoyed to be working with Daniel again, and we eagerly anticipate all he will contribute to the team in 2023. What do you think? Do you feel Ricciardo made the best move? What does the future hold for Ricciardo? Will he be tagged as the professional racer he used to be known as? We'll just have to wait and find out. That's it from us, guys. Kindly share your thoughts in the comments section. And if you enjoyed watching this video, it'd be great if you'd like and share it so your friends can watch it too. Last but not least, subscribe to our channel and punch the notification bell to keep getting more interesting content like this. Thanks for watching.